How's it going, guys? This is Dion Burke. I'm going to be showing you guys a little bit of Ameritrade TD. It is a mobile app which will basically allow you to download stocks, check out stocks, and a few other things. So what I have in front of us here is going to be one stock. This is going to be Delta Airlines. This is going to be the timeline basically of the stock. So this blue line you see going up and down, that is going to be the price of the stock, right? At the bottom you'll see the time. This will be basically, at January 2016 it was around, you could see somewhere around like 40 to 50 basically. So on the right side, you have your price, as you can see. At the top here you're going to see your time frames, which I will show you how to use those in just a bit. Up here you'll see what the current price per share is. A share is basically just one piece of the pie. That's the easiest way I can describe it. So say you have, let me pull this up. So say you have the whole pie here, and the whole pie is the company itself, right? So it is split up into a bunch of different shares, right? So buying one share means you're basically just taking one piece of the pie out, right? And let's say, you have that one piece of pie, but you decide to hold on to it. You might enjoy it later, right? So while you have it sitting, you actually find out that that pie is actually getting pretty popular. People are really liking it. So the demand for it is going up. And when the demand goes up for it, the price goes up. So say you bought the pie for, 20 bucks, right? 20 bucks. Okay. So you have one piece of pie that was 20 bucks whenever you first bought it, right? Well, now, let's say it doubled. So now it's worth 40. So now you have a $40 worth of pie. So as you can see, Delta Airlines, it took a little bit of a dip here. It looks like around July, in between 2016-17. No idea what that could have been from. I mean, you could probably Google, what was going on around that time, so you can be able to kind of see, why it dropped down basically. And, this actually represents a little bit of, the success of a company. That's another way I like to look at it. So, if a company's doing real good, the price of the stock is going to go up. If it's doing real bad, it's going to go down. So, as you can see, it took a little dip there, but besides that, it's been growing. It's been growing a little bit. It's been growing gradually over past 4 years. So let's move on to the next slide. So on the next slide, what I did was I just clicked on, instead of 5-year, which is what it was showing us, the 5-year span, I clicked on 1 year so we can kind of zoom in and get a little closer look, right? So let's do that. All right, so clicked on 1 year, right? All right, so now we're able to see a lot closer. So now we're at 2020, more closer to, current time frame we're at. As you can see, it took a huge dip. All right, now we're wondering, what could that have been from? It went from all the way from about 55 to 60 bucks per share, all the way down to about 20 to 25. That's huge. That is really huge. Now let's look at the time frame of when it dropped. So it's looking at late February to March. What was going on in the world around late February to March? COVID. I'll just, make it simple for you. COVID is going. The airline ban, people weren't really flying anywhere. So, of course, if literally no one is flying, I mean, where is Delta Airlines going to get their money, right? Where are they getting their money? They're not. It took a huge hit. And that's just like every single airline out there right now. They all took this similar hit around the same time. Same with cruise lines. So you're thinking like, this probably doesn't look like a very good stock to get into. But actually, my personal belief, don't take everything I say to the T and then, you go and invest your whole life savings and it don't work out for you and then you come at me, cussing me out. I'm just giving you guys advice on what I believe. So I honestly believe this is like the best stock to get into. Airlines and cruise lines. Because think about it for a sec. Yes, cruise lines and airlines are doing horrible right now. But once this COVID is over, once all the airline bans go away and everyone's free to go do what they want again, what do you think people are going to do? People have been cooped up in their houses with their families for a long time now, right? What are they going to want to do? They're not going to want to sit in their house some more. They're going to want to get out, vacation. They're going to want to get out of the town they're in, the state they're in. They want to get out the country they're in, right? And guess what you need to do that? You need airlines. You need planes. You're not going to take a boat all the way to India, right? You're not going to take a boat all the way to Japan. So that's what you're going to do, right? And guess what? A lot of people are going to be having the same mindset. And if they do, this bad boy's going up. Me personally, I think it's going to go up above what it was at normally before COVID. I think it's going to be a huge surge, right? I'm thinking it's going to go way above 55 to 60. So I think this is like the perfect time to get in. As you can kind of see, it's already low key going up. So it just depends on, how COVID goes and, if we get another surge of COVID, it might postpone, the spike of the stock. We'll just have to see on that. So it's kind of a waiting game. But I think, airlines are definitely guaranteed to go up. I don't think they can go down or go bankrupt at all. They're definitely a necessity. So we're going to need that. Cruise lines, on the other hand, I believe, they're not really that much of a necessity compared to airlines. So I think, they have a little bit of a greater risk of going under and going bankrupt and, potentially screwing up your money. But, I mean, cruise lines, people are going to want to take vacations, like I said. So, if they don't leave out the country, they're going to go on a cruise or something like that. So, both are very good to look at and, analyze. So, let me get into my math, how I decide, how much I think I'm going to make off of a stock. So, as you can see on this one, like I said, it was at 55 to 60, right? 55 to 60. I cannot draw with my mouse. 55 to 60. Just for this sake, I'm going to round it up to make it easier with numbers. So, let's say it was at 60, right? It was at 60. It dropped down to, let's just say 20. So 60 to 20, right? So you bought a piece of the pie for 60 and it went down to 20. You just lost 40 bucks, right? Tragic. But okay, let's say you bought a piece of the pie at 20, right? You bought it at 20. Let's say you bought 2 pieces for 20, right? So that's 40 bucks worth of share you bought. Am I able to move this? Okay, whatever. So you have 40 bucks worth of shares, right? All right, now let's say the piece of the pie, or both pieces of the pie, go back up to 60 after you bought, right? So that means each piece of the pie is now worth 60 bucks that you've been holding, right? But you have 2 pieces of the pie. So now you own 120, right? You own 120 worth of pie. So you went from having 40 bucks worth of pie to 120. You tripled your money. So basically, whatever you put in, how many pieces of the pie you buy, you would triple it if it goes up to 60. And then that's, whenever you want to get out, you want to pull the money out and, be balling basically. So let's say, let's go a little bit higher with the numbers just so you guys can get the big picture, right? So let's say, you bought it at 20 again, but instead you bought, let's say 20 stocks of worth of 20 basically. I believe that's 400. You have $400 worth of stock in this, right? Boom, 20, right? Goes up to 60 again, right? That is $1,200. Imagine taking $400 and flipping it into $1,200. Sounds pretty nuts, right? And the numbers get even bigger the more you put in, right? You put in 1,000, you're going to come out with 3,000. You just want to look at it, everything as like a multiplier whenever you're dealing with, dips this big, because you'll be able to do that. If you're dealing with like, the dip only happened and the dip was like, it was normally at 30 and it dipped down to 20. I mean, it's kind of, a little bit hard to do a multiplier on that. You're not really going to be looking for multipliers. You want to look for something that, doubles 20 to 40 to 60, right? And this is the perfect time to be looking at things like that because COVID hit us hard, right? So this one is potentially a really good stock to get into. Just like any of the other major airlines, you can look at them as well, and you can see, some of them, they might be potentials for doubles, some of them quadruples. You just really got to look at the numbers at the end of the day. So that's the math I use to be able to find out, if it's something I want to do. And then, if it is something you want to do, then you're basically just going to want to go up here to trade. You want to trade, and it will pull up this next window. So it's going to pull up this next window. You're just going to hit buy, of course. And then it is going to pull you up to the buying window. So I know at first glance it's going to look a little bit confusing, but bear with me. So ignore all of this up here. This is all just going to be the same stuff you've seen on the last slide. Of the timeline of the stock, so that doesn't really matter. Stocks, options, doesn't really matter. What you want to focus on is right here, right? So action buy, you want to make sure you're on buy, which if you click buy on the previous slide, it will be on buy, or if you hit sell, that action is going to be sell. So you just want to double check it real quick. So buy, limit, it's automatically going to populate for the type of buy you're doing as a limit, which I don't normally do limit buys. I do market buys, which is what I'll show you in a sec. But let me go over what a limit buy is. So limit buy is going to be where basically you get to set your price of when you want to buy. Oh, excuse me. It's early morning right now. So let's say the price of the stock is 32 currently right now, 32 per share, right? So we've got that. Now say, we don't really want to buy at 32 per share. We want to see, will it drop down to 30 bucks per share, a little bit lower, a cheaper pie, right? We want it at 30, basically. So you can put 30 down here for the price. You put it down here for the price. Oops. It's gonna basically just sit, and it's gonna set up a service to automatically buy how much you want at 30 right when it hits 30. So you don't even have to get back on the app and actually check it out. It's gonna do it automatically for you. So you can do those. I personally don't, because I mean, you're basically waiting and you're not guaranteed for it to drop down to 30 and actually go through with the sell. So you might just be sitting there waiting. So that's where the expiration date comes in. You can set it up to where, you know, if it doesn't hit 30 by a day, then it's going to cancel the shit. It's going to cancel the buy. So special instructions, honestly, I don't know about that. You guys might want to Google that yourself. I don't really use any of that. So quantity, I mean, basically it's pretty simple. You know, how much of the pie you want to buy. So you want to buy 0, you want to buy 5 of them for that price, or what? So let's go on to the next slide. So on the next slide, basically all I do is I change the type from limit to market, which is what I usually always do. Market basically means it's going to buy at market price. So it's instantly going to go through. It's instantly going to buy. So right now it's at 31.86 per share. If I buy, you know, 2 of them, I'm going to be spending about 63 bucks, somewhere around there. So it's basically, you know, it'll just knock it out real quick, and then you don't have to worry about it later, basically. So that's why I always do market shares or market buys. Down here, buying power. This is going to be how much just liquid cash you have. So just sitting around, basically, you know, sitting in the app that's not, you know, used for a stock or anything. So right now I have 500 just sitting. That's how much you're going to be able to spend to buy for the new stock. So I have 500. Let's just say, you know, this is 30 bucks, right? I can buy about 16 shares, basically. So you just divide, you know, how much you have available by how many, or how much the stock is, and then that'll tell you how many shares you can buy. So, and then down here, whenever you do type in your quantity, it's going to change this to a negative number as the estimated total. This means basically how much you're going to be buying worth of stock. So it's going to be your cash minus that, and then once everything looks good, you just want to hit review order, and boom, that's it. You bought stock. You can go back to the first slide and you can actually see, you know, how it's doing. You can click on, you know, 1 day, and it'll show you the price of the stock over 1 day. So you'll be able to see like every hour, every minute of, you know, how it's doing. You know, usually every second it's going to update the price for you on the app, as long as you know you have good internet or whatever. So you can be able to see it go up and down by pennies, basically. It's kind of cool to look at. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. If you have any other questions about Ameritrade, please feel free to, you know, DM me, comment, let me know. I'm going to have my social medias in the description below. But yeah, that's basically it, man. I plan on doing a few more episodes of this. If you guys really like it, just let me know. I'll definitely do it, because I feel like people aren't taught about stocks at all. Like me personally, I was never taught about stocks in high school. Let alone you know, applying for a loan or anything like that. It's pretty tragic, to be honest. Our school systems is shit. But you know, that's why, you know, we need people out there helping us out and, you know, teaching us about these things, because these things are important. Stocks are important, especially this time around. So yeah, man, if you guys like, please subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. Hit me up on my socials. Yeah, that's really it. You guys have a good one. Thank you.